What's up, bud? It's Rob. This is Apparel Success. And this video here is going to be a whole new world for so many of you clothing brand owners. Because what I'm going to share with you is how to calculate the profits and the cost of goods sold for your clothing brand on a daily basis super easily so that you know if you're in the profit that day, if you're not in the profit that day. And this is going to be an absolute game changer for so many of you clothing brand owners that are running your brand the same way that I did when I first started, where I had absolutely no idea whether I was in the profit or not on a daily basis. So I can't wait to share this with you. Here it is. Apparel Success is sponsored by my buds over at Design Crowd. If designs are something that you struggle with, I really recommend that you give them a shot. These designs sell like fire through my website, and I got them all made through Design Crowd. If you're interested, head over to designcrowd.com/apparel to learn about the special offer that I have for you, or just use the discount code APPAREL when you post a project on Design Crowd. All right, so while you're growing your clothing brand, it's super important to know if your clothing brand is profitable and how much money you're making on any given day. If you don't know whether you're in the green or whether you're in the red, it's really going to have an impact on how much money you can spend on advertising, how your brand's doing, whether you're doing well or whether you're not doing well, and if there's things that you need to adjust for the longevity of your clothing brand. So what I'm about to show you here is how to use the back end of Shopify to automatically calculate your profits and your cost of goods sold on a daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly basis. You'll be able to see this super easily. And whether or not you're currently using Shopify for your website, this video will give you a better idea of how to understand your profits, how to understand your cost of goods sold, and maybe it'll convince you to switch over to Shopify because this feature is absolutely amazing. So let's get into it. So the first thing that I want to show you here is what this will look like when you set it up and what this snapshot looks like that I'm talking about here. So let's go into Shopify. I'm going to click on Analytics. Then beneath Analytics, there's a Reports button. Click on that. This will open up the Reports page. And the one that we're looking for is under Finances, and it's called Summary. So just click on Summary. Now, what this page is doing is it's giving you a snapshot of your total sales, your net sales, which is your total sales minus your shipping and taxes that you charge your customers. And it's giving you a snapshot of your cost of goods sold on a daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly basis. And it's also giving you a snapshot of your total profits on a daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly basis. Okay, now in order for this summary here to give you accurate information, you're gonna have to set up the cost of goods for each item on your website in your product pages. And this is super easy to do. Now, before we move forward here, I wanna make it really clear what profits are, what that means, and why this is so special that Shopify is going to do this for you automatically. Your profits are your price, how much you sell the item for, minus how much you make that item for. So if you make a t-shirt for $8 and you sell it for $30, your profits will be $22 on that item. Now, what Shopify is going to do for you on this page is when you input into Shopify for each product, how much you make that product for, as you're selling your clothing on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, it's going to tally the cost of goods sold, which means all of the items that you're selling, it's going to automatically add all of that up to see how much you made all of that stuff for. Then it's going to take your total sales, your net sales, and it's going to subtract from your net sales how much you made each item for and automatically calculate all of your profits for you. And you'll be able to add this together without having to do it in spreadsheets, without having to do it anywhere else. It's gonna show it to you on this page here. So what I'm gonna show you next is how to go into each of your product pages and add the cost of each item so that when you come back to this summary page, it'll show you all of the most accurate information for your brand. So the way to do this is super easy. On the left-hand side of your page in Shopify, click on Products. Then you'll have a list of all of the products for your brand. You're gonna wanna go through each of these product pages one by one and do this, but for now, we'll start at the top. So I just clicked on the black crest tee for my brand, and I'm gonna scroll down to the size variance. Now, inside of the sizes, if you just scroll to the right, you can hit edit. And inside of this page here, what you want to do is adjust the cost per item for each of the sizes of that product. So it may be that each of the sizes you make for the same amount, it may be that your double extra large and your triple extra large are a bit more expensive for you to make. I know that's the case for some of my hoodies. But either way, you want to add the most accurate cost for that item, how much you make it for exactly, and you want to add that for each of the sizes. And so you can see that I sell this black crest tee for $30 and I make it for $8. So the profit margin is $22. And you want to do this for every single size of this product. Then go back to your products and do this for every single item that you sell on your website in every single size variant. There's a couple more really important things that I want to share with you, but what you'll have now is a summary page that you can go to that will give you a really accurate representation of your cost of goods, your total sales, and your profits on a daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly basis, depending on whenever you want to look at it. And this is going to give you a nice snapshot, just taking a glimpse without you having to even do any work, so that just regularly you can see, well, I made $800 today was the total sales, and the cost of goods today were $300. I made $500. Now, obviously, this isn't your true profits because there are other expenses that you need to add into this. But I'm going to make this super easy for you as well. Running a clothing brand, there are really three main expenses. There's your cost of goods sold, how much you make everything for, advertising, and shipping. All the other expenses that you have will be things like promo items, your monthly website charges for hosting, things like that. So I'm going to show you how I do this for my own clothing brand with a real example here, just so that you can see my thought process and how I'm calculating all of this to make it really easy for me. I'm just selecting a random day here, March 3rd, for my clothing brand that just passed. You can see that the total sales that day were $1,980.50. The cost of goods were $532, and the gross profit was $889.60. So that's the profit after the cost of goods sold. But now I also want to know, after advertising, how much money is left. So what I'll do is I'll just pop into my Facebook ads, which is all that I was spending money on for advertising that day. And I'll look to March 3rd to see how much I spent that day on advertising. Inside of Facebook ads, I spent $334.16 that day on ads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the total profit here, $889.60, and minus the cost of advertising that day, which is $334.16. And now I'm left with a more accurate number for my real profits after the advertising that day, which is $555.44. And you can also do this with the shipping, because however much you're charging your customers for shipping, there may be some discrepancy in how much you're charging for shipping versus how much you're actually paying for shipping. So you want to make sure that's accurate. But ideally, that should be canceling itself out. And if it's not, you may have to adjust the overall profit. But then after that, it's all these little expenses that you can add up if you want on a monthly basis to get a really accurate view of your profits. But just on a daily basis, you can get a pretty good idea of where you're at with your profits simply by calculating the cost of goods, which this is going to do for you automatically, taking a peek at how much you're spending on advertising, and then just understanding the discrepancy between how much you're charging your customers for shipping and how much you're actually spending on shipping. And that will give you an accurate view of your profits on a daily basis so that you can just have a good idea of that every day, every week as you're running your clothing brand. So if you want to look at a full month and have your profits calculated that way, you can select a month, the first and last day, and it will automatically calculate this for you. So in November, you can see I did $68,000 in sales. The net sales, $55,000. That's the total sales minus shipping and taxes is your net sales. Then the cost of goods were $13,484, and the profit was $24,291.49. Then I'll go to Facebook ads. I'll look at November's ad spend, minus that from the profits, and all that I'm left with after that is shipping and these little expenses. So today, it's April 1st. It's 11 a.m. right now, and I want to break down exactly how I'm thinking about this for my own brand. I've done $715.86 in sales today so far. The net sales are $613.20. That's your total sales minus your shipping and your taxes. And the cost of goods for today was $319.72, giving me a profit of $293.48. Now, while I'm looking at this today, I know that on a daily basis right now, I'm spending about $385 a day on Facebook ads to advertise my clothing brand. So when I look at that profit, I want to make sure that it's covering the Facebook ads that I'm spending on my brand. So right now I'm at $293 today. It's only 11 a.m. So I've got the whole rest of the day to still make all of this up. But the $385 that I'm going to spend on advertising, I want to make sure that that's going to be covered by my profit today. And obviously, every day will fluctuate a bit. So if one day I miss that mark, it's not a huge deal. Several days, I really want to be taking note of that. And if it's like a week or two, then I really need to start adjusting things. And when it comes to your advertising and your budgets, this is such a good way to look at how much you're spending on ads every day and look at what's working and figure out whether you're profitable or not right now for your clothing brand on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. So I really hope that sharing this with you just kind of was like revolutionary for you and your clothing brand. This stuff takes a long time to figure out if you've never done this before. And I hope that this gave you just an easier way to do it, give you a better understanding of how to calculate your profits, and gives you an ability to do this without having to freak out about it and sort of lose your mind every time you think about it. So I really hope that helps. If you got a lot of value out of this video, please hit the like button for me. It really helps me get these videos out there. And let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. And if you haven't already, check out my free clothing brand marketing masterclass. All you have to do to get access is go to apparelsuccess.com/masterclass. You can watch the whole thing for free. And if you've made it to this point in the video, I want to tell you about the closed Facebook group that we have for Apparel Success. There's a link in the description. Follow the link, join us in the group, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.